Hi, I'm Chad from Chad DIY. In today's project, we are making some custom floating shelves. I'm using mine in my kitchen, but you could use them in any part of your house as well. So let's get started.
The first step is to set my table saw at 2 inches and start making my supports. Now I can take my 2x4s and rip them down to the 2 inches. Next I'll measure the length that I need to cut out on the miter saw. My supports can be 39 inches, but yours can be whatever you determine it to be. Now I can make the cut on the miter saw. Next I can start making the 8.5 inch supports that will stick out from the main one. These 8.5 inch supports will then be added to the 2x4 to get my total of 10 inches for my shelves. Next I'll start drilling all the holes for the pocket screws. If you don't have a pocket hole jig, you can always just add screws from the back of the support into the 8.5 inch pieces.
Alright, so I have my pieces ready to assemble. It doesn't really matter too much where the location is. The main thing you want to make sure is that these do not end up where there's going to be a stud on the wall where you're installing this. And what I mean by that is, so I already marked inside the house where I'm going to have this. And I need to screw into the studs at 20 inches and at 36 inches from the end. So what I'll do is I'll just kind of mark out my stud location. So I have 20 inches, and then I have 36 inches there. So these will probably put a couple at the end now, and then these I can just kind of float wherever, they're just supports, but I just want to make sure I'm not putting it over where a stud location is, and then it should go up pretty easily.
The process that I'm using to attach the supports is just adding some glue and then some pocket hole screws to hold everything in place. This should provide plenty of strength to hold everything on the shelf. Next, I can set my table saw at 10 inches and start ripping down my shelving material. The material I'm using for the top is 3/4 inch birch plywood, and the bottom is just regular 1/2 inch plywood. A helpful trick to use is to cut both pieces at the same time so you have exactly the same length. Next, I can start gluing and nailing everything in place. I'm using 3/4 inch wood at each end for the supports. Next, I'll take a measurement of what kind of solid wood I want to cover the seams. I can set my table saw to that measurement and cut some 3/4 inch solid pine. Once I have the right size pieces all cut up, I can start gluing them and nailing them in place. Next, I'll take the measurement for the front piece and start cutting that one up. I can then repeat the steps of gluing and nailing everything in place. Once this step is done, I can wait for the glue to dry and sand everything, and it's ready to mount to the wall. Next, I'll move everything inside and start mounting it into place. I'm going to use some 3.5 inch screws with my impact driver, and I'm going to secure everything solidly right into the studs. Next, I can add the shelves over the support. It takes a little bit trying to line everything up, but once everything is in place, I can just kind of pound them against the wall and it's all secure. The last step is adding a coat of white paint. And here are all the shelves I'll finish. I did add some corner shelves as well to complete the look. I followed the same process as I did with the single shelf.
So here I have the floating shelves all painted up, all mounted on the wall with the dishes on them as well. I went with a little thicker style floating shelf, and the reason for that is the extra support. The thicker they are, the more they, in theory, can hold. So that's why they're a little bit thicker, because I want to make sure they can support a lot of weight. So if you have any questions about this project, just leave them in the comment section below. And as always, please subscribe. Thanks.